Welcome back to Bod Basics. Tonight, I'm making some compound butters. My wife's teaching a class right now. I've got a little extra time, so I figured this is a really cool way to do some prep for some future recipes. And compound butters are the prep that really sets different recipes apart. Right now, I'm gonna show you how to do some roasted garlic chipotle butter. Check it out. So I've got about 6 to 7 ounces of these chilies in adobo sauce. These are chipotle peppers and they're in adobo sauce. I bought a 12-ounce can and I'm gonna be using half in this recipe. In case you don't know what chipotles look like, let me give you a little look here. You can slice these open, you can take the seeds out, but we're just gonna be throwing them into our blender here with seeds and all. So about 6 to 7 ounces of those chipotles. Next, I'm gonna be taking our roasted garlic. So if you don't know how to roast garlic, go ahead and check out our video on roasting garlic. It's super easy, and this is an ingredient you can put in so many dishes. This is another awesome way to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze out all this garlic right now. This stuff is gold. It's recipe gold. So I'm gonna get about as much as I can out of there. Be careful, it's really sticky. I've got some wet paper towels so I can wipe my hands off. You can also use gloves if you want to. Now I'm gonna give this garlic just a rough chop. It's really gonna turn into a paste, to be honest. And when added to these chilies, man, this butter is gonna be
amazing.
So that's pretty much all we need to do right there. I'm gonna put this into the blender. We're using our Vitamix here. You can use a food processor. You can mash this down by hand. Really your preference. So before we blend this up, I'm gonna put about 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt into this roasted garlic and chipotle mix. That's good right there. Okay, now we're just gonna pop the lid on. We're gonna pulse it. And then I'm gonna let this run for a little bit. Then we're gonna scrape down the sides a bit, make sure it's all in there. Okay. Give it another little pulse. Okay, now that we've got this pulse down, we're gonna go ahead and bring it out into a bowl. I'm just gonna use my plastic spatula. It's gonna be pretty chunky. We can continue mashing this down once it's in the bowl. It's a nice paste though.
And get all that goodness out of there. Hell yeah.
Man, it smells good. So the next step is mixing this in with the butter. I've got 2 sticks of real butter. This is real butter, and don't use margarine or that country crock stuff. This has been out resting at room temperature, so it's nice and soft, and it's 16 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna go ahead and add both of these in. You can see I'm gonna be mixing with my hands. It's just so much easier. Your hands are the best tool for mixing, honestly, for things like this to really incorporate. Plus I wanna smash down those garlic cloves a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing this up with my hands. You can see there's no scientific process to this. Just really incorporate it all in together. And you can see I'm not being shy about this at all. I'm just getting in there, mixing it and incorporating it all together. You want it to have this orange hue when you're done. I'm gonna grab a piece of parchment paper and I'm gonna pour my mixture out onto the parchment paper. Now we just wanna form this up a little bit, get it all in the middle. And now what I'm gonna do with this is just roll it into a log. A nice log like that. Go ahead and tighten up those corners. I'm going to tighten it down just like that. Now I'm going to put this into some plastic wrap or a baggie, and I'm gonna put this back in the refrigerator to become solid again. It's just gonna tighten back up. You can put this into the freezer. It'll be good for a couple of months. Anytime you wanna use a little bit of this roasted garlic chipotle butter, after it's frozen, you can just cut off a nice piece of it and put it on top of a steak or with chicken or anything you want, vegetables, you name it, and you've just got it ready to go. Definitely try this one out. It can be used on so many awesome dishes. All right, now I'm gonna continue on to the next compound butter. This one's probably my favorite and the most used in our house. I'm gonna start off with a really good butter. This is an unsalted Kerrygold butter. This is a pure Irish butter. It's just the best. I love using Kerrygold. It's super high quality, great stuff. Again, let it sit out at room temperature and get nice and soft. I'm gonna go ahead and add the whole lump in here. We're going to be adding all of our ingredients into this butter. This stuff is so good.
Man, I'm telling you.
So we're just going to take about 3 stalks of rosemary. Wow, the most difficult rosemary ever. And I'm also going to take some of this thyme off of its stems as well. We're looking for about 2 tablespoons or so. And I'm just going to add this all together, chop it all at once. Why not? It's all going into the same butter mixture and it's going to be awesome. There's no exact science to this. This compound butter works so well. It's a little bit different every time. That's what's cool about it. I'm gonna take these longer stems out of here. Okay, so now that we got all of our rosemary and thyme off of the stems, go ahead and give it a nice chop. You wanna get a nice chop on it. God, I sound like an idiot. You wanna chop this down pretty good. Normally I use an 8-inch chef's knife, but it was dirty and I didn't feel like going to get my other knives. So I'm using a 6-inch chef's knife, which is what my wife normally prefers. It's fine. I prefer the 8-inch one. I just feel like I have more control over it. Everyone's preference is different. Should have used a weed whacker. A whacker for weeds. Now that we have these herbs nice and pulverized, chopped all the way down, and you can see it's a really nice fine chop, I'm just gonna go ahead and add it in with the butter. It's just a few tablespoons worth, and that'll be getting mixed in. All right, awesome. Next step is we're going to be cutting this shallot. These are just like small sweet onions. So you cut it the exact same way you would an onion. I'm gonna be doing a really fine dice, so I'm just gonna cut just like I would dice an onion. Very fine. And you can see I'm looking for anywhere between 1 and 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna go ahead and put a really nice mince on this as well. See, we got it cubed down fairly small, but I wanna get it even smaller than that because we don't want our butter to be completely overpowered by shallots. These do have an awesome sweetness to them. And man, they are good in here. The smell is tremendous. All right, this is probably a little bit more than we need. I'm just gonna throw in, I'm gonna eyeball it here. It's looking pretty good. That's perfect right there. Next step, we've got 1 clove of garlic, and I'm just gonna be using a microplane to make this garlic nice and small in here. I'm just gonna microplane this right down. Be very careful of your fingers on this one. And since we have the onion in there already, I don't think we need any more than 1 clove. Now this by no means is an exact science. You can put in parsley, you can do dill and lime or sweet Thai basil, anything you want, any herbs that you want in here. I like this combination. I like the rosemary and thyme and how they work off each other. Shallots are just delicious and everyone loves garlic. But we're gonna go ahead and even it out with a little bit of lemon right now. I'm gonna add the juice of 1 small lemon. All right, now that we have our lemon juice in there, I'm gonna go ahead and start to mix this up. I'm gonna use that same type of spatula I did earlier, only this time I'm gonna use this to mix and just get it all incorporated. This butter is tremendous on everything. Man, you can put it on chicken, you can put it on beef, you can put it on fish, anything. This one is a universal butter, just about any protein, any vegetable, this will be good on there. I'm just trying to see now where some of the herbs are a little less and incorporate it on over, just folding it on itself. Getting that lemon in there as well. Smells tremendous. All right, so we've got our parchment paper here. I'm just gonna cut off a little piece. Same process as the garlic chipotle butter. We're just gonna go ahead and add this right here in the middle. Nice big log of butter. And this is gonna add delicious flavor to just about anything. It's so good. And just log it out. Just like that. So let me show you how I seal this up to store in the freezer. I'll just take a little piece of plastic wrap. You can see it's behaving really nicely tonight.
Later that very same day.
Holy shit, man. Yes. All right, just take a little piece of saran wrap here. Go ahead and put your butter log right in the middle. And you just want to roll it like you did the parchment. And now you want to give it a little spin. Shape it nicely into a nice roll. Make sure that it's nice and even, tied off at the ends. And now you can take this and put it right into your freezer or your refrigerator if you plan on using it in the next 5 to 7 days or so. But this can go in your freezer for up to 2 to 3 months. You can just go in and cut off a piece each time you want to use it. I'm gonna go put it in there right now. The sky's the limit with these compound butters. You can add anything you want to it really. Any type of herb, any type of flavoring that you want in it. Roast down some peppers, put that in there. Maybe some sun-dried tomatoes, that would be really good. Basil, sun-dried tomatoes, now we're talking. Maybe I'll make another video at some point in the future and show you how to make that Texas Roadhouse sweet butter, the sweet cinnamon butter. The possibilities are absolutely limitless. Go ahead and use your imagination and make your own compound butters. These things just ramp up any recipe and they're absolutely awesome. So give it a try.